Hey guys, I just wanted to do a little video like I had shared on my page about my experience with the 3-day refresh. Now, I want to just take a quick moment and go over some of the main things that are involved in the 3-day refresh. Now, basically, it's a safe cleanse, if you were to use a word, but it's basically a way to be able to kind of get back on track. Maybe you have been indulging too much. Maybe you are having a hard time staying on track. Maybe you've hit a plateau. Maybe you came back from vacation and you put on more weight than you were hoping, and you really want to just start off as soon as you get home and really start getting right back on track. So, the 3-day refresh is a new program that was created for a way for people to be able to get back on track and start feeling better in a controlled and effective and healthy way without having to starve yourself. Now, there are a lot of different cleanses out there. There's the juice cleanses, I'm sure that you have heard about, which are pretty popular. Even cleanses where you're just drinking liquids or water for a couple of days. And it can be very, very challenging and very, very unsafe. So, Beachbody has created a program that's essentially going to be able to help people lose weight in a very effective way and kind of reset their systems and refresh their systems in a healthy way. Now, it's a 3-day program, and you get it in a box like this. And what comes in the 3-day refresh box is you have 3 days of meals, basically, of shakes and things like that. And there's a cool little a neat little schedule that's going to talk about what you're going to be eating and at what times. It talks about when you wake up first thing in the morning, you want to drink about 8 ounces of water at least. And then you also want to start looking at what you're going to be consuming for the day. Now, each day you're going to have a Shakeology shake that's mixed with water. You can choose to mix it with a fruit if you want to, or you can just have the water in it. And then after you have your Shakeology shake, an hour or two later, you're going to have a nice glass or cup, warm cup of any kind of herbal tea that's caffeine free. And then after you have your tea, you're going to have your fiber sweep shake. Now, the fiber, I actually really, really liked it. It kind of reminds me of Energy and Endurance if you've ever had that through Beachbody. The flavor, it's thick. You just mix it with a little bit of water and you kind of drink right away. And it's just a way to be able to nutrient pack your system so that you're able to kind of flush things out. Although it's not going to be causing you to go to the bathroom constantly. I know that a lot of cleanses are like that. So just be aware that there's no side effect associated with that whatsoever. So you've had your fiber sweep, and then you're going to have lunch. And lunch basically consists of a redesigned type of Shakeology shake that you're going to be having for lunch. Now, you also mix that with water, and again, you can mix it with fruit if you want, or you can have it on the side if you want to actually chew your food. But basically, for lunch, you're going to have the Vanilla Refresh shake, and it's like Shakeology, except that it has more protein so that it can help you feel fuller longer, and it has more calories because we're essentially trying to refresh your system. So you're going to have less calories every single day with this 3-day refresh, but you don't want to go so low that you can't even function during the day. So it's a really delicious vanilla refresh shake. I really actually liked it a lot, and my fiance did too. So for lunch, you're going to have the vanilla refresh shake. You're going to have the fruit, like I mentioned, if you want blended in your shake with you or on the side. And then you're going to have a serving of a healthy fat, a serving of a vegetable, and you're going to be able to eat that in any way that you want. I chose to eat it pretty raw and straight, and it was great. Very, very filling because of all the fiber and the fact that you have to chew it, and so it took longer. Now, after you've had your lunch, an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours later, whatever's working for your system, you're going to have another serving of a fat and a serving of a vegetable. So again, you're going to be able to nutrient pack your system so that you are flushing things out, you're feeling satisfied, you're not starving, but you're also not feeling very full, so you're actually really able to lean out. And then after you've had that afternoon snack, you can have another warm glass of an herbal tea, which I did every single day. And then for dinner, you're going to have another vanilla refresh shake mixed with water, no fruit this time. And then you're going to have one of the delicious dinner that you get to create based in the book that comes with it. So this is the book that comes in your box with all of your shakes and your Shakeology. And my goal when I was doing this was to be able to have a different dinner every single day so that I could kind of one, balance out and get a variety of different kinds of foods, and also be able just to try them out and share it with you and really let you know what kind of the dinners that I liked, which ones I didn't, and things like that. Now, they're all in the back, and what I really like about this refresh is that they're simple, because I need simple. I need not going to take a lot of time. I don't enjoy cooking. It's something I probably never will enjoy. And so it was very, very simple for me to just go ahead and look at the recipes and follow them. Now, I think the first night I had like a spinach salad. Delicious, very, very filling because it's high volume, because obviously spinach is not very many calories, so you got a little bit more. And I really wanted to make sure that I am feeling satisfied and not starving myself. So I did look at vegetables that were higher volume, that I could actually get more for that serving, as opposed to other vegetables or other fats that I didn't get as much from. So I had the spinach salad the first night. The second night I had a veggie stir fry, which was, I think, my favorite. It had ginger in it, it had lemon juice in it, and it was just so nutrient packed that I loved it. And it was so flavorful that it's actually going to be one of my favorite recipes that I'm going to start adding like some protein in my daily rotation or my weekly rotation of meals. And then the last night, I had a late night, so I came home and I made one of the quickest ones that you could do, and it was string beans that you steamed for a couple of minutes, and then you added some oil and I think some lemon juice to it, and it was delicious. I mean, it was high volume again, which is something I really like to do because I like to eat. And it was very, very filling. And of course, so you're having these dinners with all of these vegetables, and you're also having your vanilla shake. So it's not like you are just getting a very, very small amount of food. I mean, the vegetables, it's not like you're getting an entire huge plate of dinner food, but you are getting enough that's going to help you stay satisfied, but you're also going to get your vanilla refresh shake at dinner so that you're feeling hydrated and your stomach is actually filling up. So that's just basically what I was doing. Now, I did choose to work out during the 3-day refresh. You don't have to, because you're not consuming a lot of calories. But I paired it with the week in my P90X3 program where it was kind of like rest week, where you're not doing weightlifting, you're not doing crazy hard workouts. I did wear my heart rate monitor, and I think I burned like 150 calories each time. And then the third day, that night, I held my Fit Club. So I did actually burn like over 300 calories at Fit Club. And you know, looking back, I probably wouldn't recommend it because I think my body freaked out a little bit, probably because I wasn't eating very many calories and then I was burning more calories. So I think it held on a little bit, but I still lost 7 pounds in 3 days. My fiance lost 5 pounds in 3 days, and he followed the 3-day refresh too. So, you know, it varies in terms of how much how much weight you put on vacation, how big you went. and how much your body kind of needs to flush out and get rid of. Now, I kind of want to share my personal opinion about it because I think that one, I love Beachbody products, obviously, but two, I'm not going to promote something and I'm not going to be able to help anybody if I haven't done it myself. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to do the 3-day refresh, and I needed it really badly. But the things that I got out of the 3-day refresh was I was sleeping great. I was sleeping amazing. I don't remember feeling like I was starving. I do remember feeling hungry, I think especially on the third day, where I was feeling a little bit like, okay, I could really use like my dinners more often, that I was getting on the refresh. If I could have that a little bit more, then I probably would have been even a little bit better. But I wasn't starving. I was hungry, feeling like I kind of had some cravings for things because one, you're not eating any kind of protein except for the protein that you're having in your shakes. So I was kind of craving that a little bit, but it wasn't anything crazy. So I was sleeping better. My bloat was gone. I mean, the night before I did the 3-day refresh, I ate pizza and I had a beer, and I remember I was so uncomfortable. I did take my pictures the next morning and I did weigh myself the next morning. So, I knew that I was going to be up on that scale. I didn't know I was going to be as high up as I actually was, but I just remember feeling very, very bloated and uncomfortable. And by by the first day of the 3-day refresh, I remember feeling a lot leaner, a lot better, more hydrated, and things like that. So, and it really helped that I was able to kind of see the results and the progress based on the scale, because I was weighing myself at the same time every single morning after I woke up. I went to the bathroom, and then I would weigh myself to kind of keep that similarity with my weight. So I think that really, really helped a lot. Now, another thing that I think I really, really loved about the 3-day refresh is that in the dinner recipes, I mean, some of it was calling for like a half a teaspoon of olive oil, or a teaspoon of lemon juice, or a quarter teaspoon of salt. And I remember thinking to myself, really? Like, is that all that I'm going to be getting out of this? This isn't going to be enough for me. A half a teaspoon of olive oil, that's crazy for all of these vegetables. But I have to say that I think in our society, we're so used to that volume, which I definitely am too, but we're so used to that volume that we think, more is better. And I realized that I could actually taste the vegetables. I wasn't just tasting olive oil and that slimy, gross feeling, but I could actually taste the vegetables. I could taste the salt. I could taste what was actually in my dish. And I think that it was nice that it helped me sort of relearn or be reminded that you don't need tons of things like that. You don't need tons of salt. You don't need tons of olive oil. You don't need tons of condiments to be able to actually taste something when you're making your recipes. So, when I'm 2 days after my 3-day refresh, I'm still losing some weight, and I made dinner tonight, and we used a very, very small amount of coconut oil to saute our vegetables in tonight for dinner. So I was just reminded that I don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. So you don't need to be just overkilling it all the time. If you're overkilling it, then that's all you're going to be tasting. You're not going to get to really, really enjoy those vegetables. So I think that really helped. Another thing was that because the booklet and the program really talk about, you can have your water when you first wake up in the morning, and then at least an hour later, you're going to probably have a cup of tea, and then at least an hour after that, you're going to have your fiber drink. So what I realized was that you could have it an hour later, but you could have it more than an hour later. And I realized that sometimes when I'm in my routine and I've set out my meal plan and this is what I'm going to eat for today, I say, okay, then I'm going to eat every 2 hours. But I realize that sometimes you're not hungry every 2 hours. So why are we eating? Why am I eating every 2 hours? And I think I realized that on the 3-day refresh. Another thing I realized is that when you're overindulging in something, pizza, sushi, alcohol, chips, hamburgers, whatever it is, whatever you like to indulge in, when you're indulging in something, the next day, you're probably not going to be as hungry, right? You've already consumed much more calories than you're used to. And just because it's something that you do all the time and you eat every couple of hours, if it's after an indulging day, really listen to your body. I think sometimes we have a really hard time with that, is listen to your body and see if you're actually hungry. There's no rule book that says you have to eat every 2 hours in order to lose weight. It works for people because you're eating smaller amounts, and so you're more likely to be hungry every 2 hours or 3 hours. But some of us might not need to eat that often. Maybe you like to have 3 larger meals and 2 smaller snacks. Whatever it is for you and whatever's going to work. And I think the 3-day refresh really reminded me of that. It also reminded me of being able to enjoy food for what it is and really look at the variety of food. And I think I really, really focused on if I was having, carrots for lunch or my afternoon snack, then I was not going to have carrots for dinner because I really wanted to have that variety and that balance in the different kinds of vegetables that I was eating. So I think that's really, really important too, is that when you're eating something day in and day out, that might help you stick on your calorie budget or your container budget if you're following the 21-day fix, whatever it is. But you really need to be able to have that variety because there's so many different phytochemicals, there's so many different kinds of nutrients in different kinds of ratios, in different kinds of vegetables, the fiber content, all of that. So you really need to mix things up a little bit. And I think that's just really, really important to remember and to know. Lastly, that I want to talk about is because you're consuming a smaller amount of calories, you don't want to quickly jump up to whatever way it was that you were eating when you're done with the 3-day refresh. You really want to be able to maintain those results. I mean, how horrible is it to, be so excited and you've been able to lose the weight that you want to, and then a week later or a month later, you put it all back on. So you really want to start learning and listening to your body and not, overstretching your stomach. And I would love to do a challenge group based on the 3-day refresh. I would love to be able to have a supportive community for all of my customers who are wanting to do this program because I think it's really, really beneficial. So if you're interested, I hope that you'll contact me. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to kind of share even more tips that I have with you and be able to kind of be that support system for you every single day for you to check in. And I'd love to kind of create a 3-day community support group around the 3-day refresh. So, maybe the first 3 days or first couple of days, we'll kind of do a prep, all the things that you're going to need, what recipes are you going to want to do, what kind of Shakeology recipes are you going to use, and things like that. And then start the 3-day refresh and then be able to finish out that month with staying on track, not increasing your calories so much, but not keeping them the same, being able to kind of get back into your normal eating as quickly as possible, but not too quick. So I'd love to have you join me. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. You know how to get a hold of me, and just let me know if you have any other questions. And if you want to be a part of my first ever 3-day refresh community support group, because I'd love to have you. Thanks.